Meets Reality with Dr. Linda Salvin, an integrative health consultant, a metaphysical clinician with a Ph.D. in Metaphysics, who offers insight with psychic readings, DNA-based nutrition, and Wicks of Wisdom magic candles. Now it's time to visit your tomorrow, the show where spirit meets reality, with your host, Dr. Linda Salvin.
My psychic radio brought to YouTube and the internet, my show that's been around for about 30 years. I have a really interesting guest today. We'll get to her in just a moment. I am broadcasting today. I will take a few of your questions in the chat. I want you to know that I will be out of town next week, but I'm going to be broadcasting from Cleveland, Ohio. So I hope you'll join at that point in time. If you're going to place an order for a reading or purchase candles, everything will be fulfilled when I return from my vacation. And I am leaving to do some research on my family background. My mother grew up in Cleveland, and all my life I heard about Cleveland Heights. So I'm taking a trip. I went to the University of Michigan as a grad student in the 70s, and I'm visiting my old roommates. And then I'll drive down to Cleveland, and I'm going to go visit the house my mother grew up in because it's still there. And I sent the people who own the house a letter. Don't know if they're going to read it because they may have thought it was a spam letter. Who knows? But we'll find out. But today, I'm honored for the guest that's coming on in just a few moments, that she was willing to come on, be honest, and talk about her experience in using my candles, the Wicks of Wisdom. Let me explain what Wicks of Wisdom are. You hear me all the time, and I've been doing them. Well, I actually created them in 1999. So they've had a long run. We're still getting hundreds and hundreds of testimonials. You can read them online at lindasalvin.com. And whether it's health, money and success, spiritual growth, getting rid of negativity, bad luck, curses, bringing in a love, to bring in a relationship, to intensify that passion or communication. If you have a lawsuit, which is part of what Kelly's going to talk about in a moment, the candles work like a prescription for your soul. How do they work? It's magic. There's a combination of herbs. There's a petition that goes into the candle. There are various bottles of oils, which I have somewhere on this desk, but I have no idea where they are at the moment. I've got so many elements because I'm nervous about today, and getting ready for a trip, as you know, is full of anxiety. So you get bottles of oils with formulas. Start thinking of baking or cooking, and every thing you cook has a formula or a recipe. Especially in baking, you want a cup of the sugar and the butter and the flour and the nuts or the chocolate chips or bananas or whatever you're making. So think banana bread, cherry pie, and chocolate brownies. 3 desserts, different ingredients equals a sweet. Same thing with candle magic. Different oils, different words on a petition, burned in the candle, along with herbs and powders that are imported from outside the country, and they go together and they create magic. I got introduced to candle magic back in probably 1985, 18. Yeah, well, I'm really dating myself. 1990 something. I don't know. I've tried different people's candles, and nothing ever worked until I was introduced to a man named Michael. And Michael trained me in candle magic, and then I took his ideas and implemented my own ideas with the formulas he started me out on, and then I recreated, and out came Wicks of Wisdom. And they've been online, and they've been on TV, and they're probably going to go back on TV. And if you want to be a part of that new infomercial, buy the candles and have a testimony like Kelly. Kelly Duncan is going to be on in about a minute after I finish explaining what Wicks of Wisdom are and how they work like a prescription for your soul. Hi, Abby. Hi, Ranaj. The candles are well, the candles in Kabbalah represent the soul of man, and the wick, when lit, is a flame, which is light, which is God. So we literally feed the universe our needs, wishes, desires, what passions, problems we have. And then after burning the candles, it takes about 3 weeks to do a set, but it's after the candles are done that the work kicks in. So without any ado, I'm going to bring on Kelly. There she is. Hello and welcome to the show, Kelly.
Hi, Linda. How are you?
I'm fine, and I'm excited to see you. I am excited to hear you do your thing with everybody, but I'm honored because I know you went through something that you're not proud of, which we all get in trouble at some point in life. We can't just skate through it and not get hit. I mean, part of life is learning lessons. That's why we're here. I think Earth is the hell. We come back time and time again to get it right. There's so many ways to look at it. But then when I've channeled, there's really a hell out there, when I've seen some really dark places and I've seen the beautiful ends. But I'm explaining to people the process. And you, hi, Bobby, you asked me, the dog's in agreement. The dog was to be on. You asked me to help you with this, but I'm not going to give the audience any information. I want them to hear it from you. I'll fill in the blanks. I may ask you a question, and we'll round robin and just chit chat about what happened a few years ago.
Okay.
And how you found me, but what you did that got you in trouble. And by the grace of God, tell your story, because you're still here and you're a free woman.
Yes, I am. Thank God. Well, I kind of got hooked up with the wrong people. Was presented a job, and I thought, okay, that sounds easy. I can do that, and yeah. Well, it turned out that it was definitely the wrong people that were being investigated by the FBI.
Did you not know that going in?
No.
At all?
No.
Wow.
I didn't know any part of it. I thought I was just helping some people in jail. I thought I was just helping. Ordering.
Stop, because the listener and the viewer, remember, we're like doing the show now, but it'll post later and people will re-watch later. So you were going to a jail or a prison where you knew somebody, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Was that a boyfriend or somebody that you were kind of involved in? Was it just a friend or?
At the time, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Now you've got kids and you've got grandkids. You had a lot going on, and you were literally innocent and naive about what you were doing, right?
Extremely. I never even thought that it was what it was. Had no idea. But so I guess I kind of got caught up, and I had only been doing it for maybe 2 or 3 months, 3 months at the most, before it crashed in on me, and I woke up to policemen in my face with flashlights in my eyes.
Do you want to tell everybody what it actually was, or do you want to hold that back?
I gave someone a package
that probably had some illegal substances in it.
Yes, I didn't look in it. I kind of knew what it could be. I didn't want to look at it just because I just didn't want to look. But yeah, so I gave it to someone as I was instructed to do, and it went somewhere inside the jail. So I got that my name was mentioned, and they had been investigating me as well. So yeah, I went straight to jail.
Do not pass go. Probably one of the scariest days of your life.
Extremely.
It's not like watching TV when it happens to you.
Oh, nothing like TV.
How long were you in jail?
Well, the first time they arrested me, I was in just for the night. I got out the next day, but I thought everything was all in the clear, because I'm thinking, okay, it's, months had passed by, and then a year passed by, and I thought, oh, I'm in the clear. 2 years passed by, And at 2.5 years, they came back.
Was he still in jail, your
Yeah.
friend?
Yeah. Yeah. So they came back, and I got the flashlights in my eyes again. And this time I went. They processed me in, and I was there. I was looking at a long time.
20 years, maybe?
Between 5 to 20.
That's a long time of jail time, girl.
Yeah. And I thought, oh my God, my dogs, my kids, you know.
Interesting you put the dogs before your kids. I'd probably say the same thing if I had kids. I'd always go for the animal first. It kills me when I see people abandoning or hurting the animal.
I know, I hate that.
Save your animal. The kids will be okay. But yeah.
That's kind of what saved me too.
Your dog?
Also, the animals. Mm-hmm.
And we've got horses, don't you?
Yeah, I did. We had to put
you
her
don't
down.
now?
Yeah, I had to put her down.
I never got up there to go ride her. Oh my gosh. I didn't know that. I haven't talked to you in a few months.
Yeah.
Okay. That must have been hard. I put my dog down back in March. It's horrible.
It is. It's really, it's the hardest thing I could do. Besides, well, my kids, of course, would be number one, but.
Well, you take care of the horse, you feed, you ride, you.
And my children are grown.
Rusher.
My children are grown and they're on their own, so they don't, really need mommy as much. The animals.
Yeah, but animals are unconditional.
Animals definitely.
They love us. Mm-hmm. And you took care of that horse and rode that horse and fed the horse and groomed the horse and everything. Oh, I'm sorry, Kelly.
Yeah. But so I went to jail and I was looking at a long time. They gave me a lawyer. State appointed. It was federal. It was a federal crime.
Especially if the FBI was involved. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
They've been waiting for that moment, I guess. They waited for the guy inside and they put it together with you, whoever gave you it, to traffic into him, and however it weaved its way through the network, and then they came after you because they pegged it. Go on.
Yep. So I'm sitting in jail thinking, okay, I guess I'm here. And thank God for a couple of friends of mine who cared enough to bond me out. And they put their house deed up to bond me out so that I could fight this on the outside. Because I would have been sitting in there for 3 years, just waiting to see the judge.
Wow. So
thank God I got out of there. I was in there probably 6 months, maybe.
How was the food? I hear it's pretty bad. Were you roughed up? Were you hit on by some of the women?
Oh no, they were county jail. The women are extremely nice.
Okay.
You make a lot of really good friends. I mean, at that time, of course, in there were a couple of them I actually would have continued talking with, but I couldn't find my information. But no, the women's jail is there were fights.
Oh, I bet. Okay.
Oh yeah, there were fights, but I was comfortable.
You were never harmed. You weren't hurt.
I didn't worry about any of that.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard the stories when I was, oh gosh, I guess about 35 years ago, before I got on radio, which was 29 years ago or 28 years ago. My background's public health, and one of my jobs after I was in the plane crash was teaching kids on parole from the California Youth Authority how to wash their works if they're doing junk and shooting up, or to wear rubbers if they're having sex. But they were already inside the Youth Authority. I don't think they really cared about taking care of their health.
But it planted a seed.
Pardon?
It planted a seed.
Planted the seed. But I remember going through all those heavy lead doors and the gates, and I had to be searched. And as each gate or door shut behind me going through the prison, it was scary because I was really locked in. So I can imagine what you went through. I took over these kids when they were in the classroom as opposed to in their cell. So you were in your cell, and then did they let you go outside, or did they have people like me doing health education to come in and give you educational tips or anything? Or
they had like the Narcotics Anonymous program come in. They had church on Sundays. We got to go out on the cement area with a netting above us.
Oh, so you couldn't climb the fence and get out.
It was all cement walls, cement floor.
Oh, wow. Cold, cold, cold.
Yeah, we were just put out there for however long, and then, just...
But you must have heard some bizarre stories. What you thought was bad, you probably heard worse. Like, I remember one kid I spoke to was adorable, blonde, blue eyes. He was from Malibu, surfer kid, right? About 1920. I said, what are you doing in here? Because he just didn't look like a criminal to me. He goes, matter of factly, he stared me in the eye. Oh, I shot my girlfriend's father. Just, oh, really? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was the job back then. Fast forward, you met me, I helped you. Let's get into what happened.
Yeah, so I finally got home.
What year are we talking? I don't even remember.
2017. Okay. Yeah. I get
Hi,
home
Martha.
and stay with the people that bonded me out. And every 3 months, it was like every time I hear I'm going to court for my sentencing, they would extend it another 3 months. And every 3 months I would get ready to go to prison. And every 3 months I would get another extension. And this went on for 2 years. It was just like wrecking my emotions, my physicality, everything. I was just a mess. I heard about you. I had you, I've been watching you for quite some time. I thought, you know what? I was at the end of my rope. I didn't know what else to do. I said, I'm calling Linda. I'm going to get a hold of her.
You probably heard me on the radio because back then I was on cable, which came through your TV.
Yeah.
I was on KLSX 97.1 Free FM here in LA. I was in 300, 400 markets back then. I had a big name back then.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the exact time you reached out to me, but I remember the anxiety in your voice and the fear. And you said, each time they gave you an extension, it just elongated the panic and the what ifs and when. And it's hard to live on the edge like that. I mean, I'm like that naturally. I'm just full of anxiety. But, I'm worried about the time. I'm worried about this. I'm flying out tomorrow to go to Detroit, and I'm already thinking, oh, the plane's not going to crash again. Once in a lifetime's enough. But the mind, so you went through the panic and what's going to happen, and no one was really telling you anything except you got to show up again, right?
Yeah. And so I was on a pre-trial probation. And so the probation officer, federal probation officers would come out to see me all the time. I had an ankle monitor on.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really.
They tracked every move.
Every move.
Even if you went to the bathroom or took a shower, it had to be on, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. And the thing is, where I was out in the middle of the desert, when it rained out there, our electricity went off. It always went off during rain. And I had to charge my ankle monitor all the time. So I was always a panicked mess about that, thinking, oh my God, what if it goes off? Because I would get put back in jail. Any kind of tampering or
right, they think you're trying to break it off or skirt the system, I bet. And then you had to explain that you had a power outage. We had a power outage here last week. The computers crashed. My computer guy wasn't even sure we could save the station. I mean, it's nasty when we don't have electricity, and today with our cell phones and computers,
I know. Yeah.
So did they believe you?
Well, see, mostly they don't normally believe you. They don't want to hear any excuse. They don't care.
Yeah, that's real tough.
But somehow I was able to get them to understand, because they had come out to visit me and they saw where I was. And I said, sometimes this will happen. And, so she was pretty cool about it, but I would still have to drive out there to downtown LA and have them check it to make sure it wasn't tampered with. So that was I had that on for about a year.
Wow. All right. So you contacted me after listening to me on the radio for however long, because I was on radio for 18 years back then.
Yeah. So I've been on your Facebook, and I'd always think, kind of always checked you out and thought, okay, she's very interesting. I'm going to try.
Oh, I'm interesting. All right. Yeah. You don't want to be on my bad side.
But I thought I'm going to give her a call. So I guess I called, and I was just a mess the day I called you, and you heard my voice. And the first thing you did was you were able to get my calmness back. I don't. I'm
Did
not
you
sure.
call on the air or did you call my office? I don't even remember how it started. Was it on the air or did you call
No, I called you. I think I called you
the office?
at the office. Yeah.
Okay.
But you were able to calm me down so that I could do this, because I didn't know which way was up, you know, and you were able to get me to balance and ground myself and kind of get through this without panicking. That was the major thing. I was like, whoa, okay, I feel calm, and I was calmed down for the longest time.
I gave you a God shot. It's a God shot because I'm so spiritual. People feel when I'm doing my work, you feel the energy and it calms you down or
I think I
heals.
even called you and told you, wow, this is crazy.
I remember he's like, I can relax. Yeah, no, there's an energy, there's a gift. That's part of what happened after me being in a plane crash and having surgeries and everything. But the gift was to help you because I couldn't work with you. I couldn't understand what you were going through. None of it until I got you focused enough to talk more or less normally without the frantic and chaotic mess that most of us live in. Plus being ADD, we're always like this. Go on.
So anyway, we decided to, you had explained the candle magic to me, and I thought, wow, that's really interesting. And at this point, I wanted to do anything to help me because I was just so afraid of going to prison. So we did the candle magic, and it was so exciting. I let you do it. I didn't do it myself because I would have messed it up, I think. I don't know if I could have done it.
Maybe.
But you kept me informed at all times. You sent me pictures. You told each time you did something with them, you told me exactly what you were doing. Kind of like a dentist will tell you what they're doing in your teeth next.
Yeah, well, I am a doctor and it is diagnostic. And what Kelly is saying is that there's each set of candles for Wicks of Wisdom has 3 candles. Each candle can take 3 to 7 days to burn. The work is in dressing the candles with the oils, herbs, powders, and then the parchment. I had to understand everything she'd been through, who the lawyer was, who their lawyer was, who the judge might be, what court you're going to be in. I mean, there's a lot of detail. It's not like going to, a store and picking up a candle and say, okay, do it. And it doesn't smell like cinnamon. It's not a holiday thing. It's a real shift of candle magic. So yes, I tried it. When people pay me to do the work, I take pictures. One of these days I'll get the photo uploaded. Jonathan, make note. I'll get the photos of some of the work of the candles burning uploaded so I can show them on screen. But I do all the work, then I take the pictures and I either email or text so people know where we are in the process. And I always let people know during the burn, a lot of the times, you're not going to see or feel anything. Now, remember, we started Kelly's work 9, 10, 11 months before court. And then your court got delayed, I remember. So we had to do another round of some stuff, but we kept doing it. Go on.
Yeah. And then as it got closer and closer to my sentencing, we were like, I started getting nervous, and you were telling me, calm down, everything's going to be fine. And then I started thinking, what if it doesn't work? Because we're just so close to, we're almost done, but it's like, we're so close to my sentencing. What if it doesn't finish? And
I qualify. There's no guarantees. I'm not God. It even says in the literature, because everybody gets the PDF file, and at the very end, it says it may not work, or it may not work the first time. But most of the time it does. Otherwise, I wouldn't keep doing it. Go on.
Right. And what I did was, when you told me that, I was aware that,
it's a risk.
It's not 100%.
Pretty close though, huh?
Oh yeah. I kept in my mind positive thinking, and it's going to work. It has to work. And I didn't believe that it wouldn't. That's how much belief I had in you. I just knew.
I think we did. Well, I know we did sweetening judgment. We did a couple of good luck power. We did, I think, a do as I say or a control. I did a harmony on you to calm it down so you could breathe through this and not be
Yes.
off
Yes.
the charts.
Exactly.
Because I mean, I run around like I'm off the charts. I drive people crazy because I'm so high functioning and trying to get everything done. And then with your own emotions and your own stuff going on, it's hard to just be human and, oh, hi, how are you today? It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
we did a lot of softening their hearts.
I had to do a lot to like make you understand that it looked like it was going to go in your favor, but I couldn't guarantee you would not have jail time. Remember?
Yes.
I thought maybe you'd have a slighter or a less sentence. I wasn't 100% sure how it would go. Now, I do remember the holidays before your trial date, and your family was coming out to visit, and the grandbabies were coming, and you were excited about that. But on the other side, you were a nervous wreck because of what you were confronting. So let's go back to that point in time.
Okay. My daughter came out with my grandkids, and it was just wonderful. But I still had that eating in the back of me, knowing, this is maybe the last time I see them. And I was just, it was hard. It was really hard.
Because you thought if you were in jail, you wouldn't have visitors, and they're out of town, they're out of state. You were up against the wall there.
Yeah. So I had addresses written down. I had all my friends, I said, give me your address just in case I go to prison, and will you write to me? And I had everybody set up that, write to me, come visit me.
Are you allowed to have your cell phone or a computer or anything inside? You can't have anything, can you?
No.
Really locked away from the world.
Yeah. And I didn't have any guarantee of what prison I would go to, because I had one picked out.
Oh, you did? I'm glad. Did it have a pool? No, I'm kidding.
I wish. No, I had one picked out for that was close enough for my family and my friends to come and see me. And I didn't want to go too far away because then I would really feel closed off, So I couldn't. They couldn't guarantee where I would go. My lawyer had been doing this particular kind of cases for 30 years plus.
Yep.
He to this day still goes, how did you do that?
You should give him my number and I'll tell him. Because my attorney said the same
I
thing.
have a good friend. I have a good friend.
Was like, what?
Yeah. So it was, I would tell my daughter about it, and she was like, oh, that's kind of cool. My daughter and my granddaughter are kind of into that a little bit. And so I told her, and she said, okay, well, we'll keep positive thoughts, and I said, yeah, definitely. So
all right, let's get up to the day. I think you called me the night before.
Yeah.
You were going to appear in court.
Yep. And so we did it. It was during the pandemic. So I had to do the virtual court thing, which was fine because I just didn't want to have to go out there and face them, physically. So we're on the virtual thing, and we've got the judge, my lawyer, me, and the district attorney. Well, what was really weird, the district attorney sounded like he was fighting for me, as if he was my lawyer. And I thought, that's kind of weird.
Didn't I have his name in that mix too?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how that works. Go on.
Yeah. So the judge, he kept telling the district attorney, like looking at him kind of strange, like, what's going on here? I don't understand what's happening. But so they all decided to maybe look into some kind of sober living home or something like that, or somewhere to go, because the judge kept saying, I have to punish you somehow. You have to get punished. I'm like, yes, sir. Whatever you say. he said, you know, let's postpone this for a week, and if you guys come back with something, we'll discuss it.
As opposed to him sentencing you right then and there, which was anticipated. They don't do that.
Well, it was a mess. I thought another week, and I just started crying, and I thought I can't do this anymore. I can't do it. I was a mess. I talked to you in between all that, and you kept me calm, but in my head I kept thinking, why are they doing this to me? But the week came up. I got on that virtual call, and he said, I don't know why I'm doing this, but
The judge.
The judge told me straight to my face. He said, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I do have to punish you somehow. He said, consider yourself lucky, young lady. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. 4 years probation.
That's unheard of, Kelly.
I didn't even know what to say. I mean, I just looked at him like, okay, don't change your mind. Let's get off this call so he doesn't change his mind. After I got off that virtual, the sentencing thing, my lawyer called me and he said, Miss Bell, I don't know how you did that, but never in the 30 plus years that I've been doing this has anyone gotten 4 years probation ever. He said the lowest punishment that they got was 5 years in prison. I said, I know people.
You know, people in high different places.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know someone. Yeah. I
And
called
you
you and I
called
was
after that, and
Linda.
Yeah. Oh my God, you won't believe this. Yeah, I will. But you didn't go to jail. You're still free. The candles work like a prescription for your soul. God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, saw you, gave you a second chance. The judge will never understand. The lawyers will never understand. The DA will never understand. Half the people online don't understand, and that's okay. I've been harassed, mocked, backstabbed. I've had it all, but this shit works.
Oh my God. I was just like a little kid in the candy store telling everybody, you're not going to believe this. Guess what? You got to call Linda.
Kelly, I have used your story in my pitches with people who are new or people that are sharing their experience. Or have you ever heard anything like this? And I said, well, here's another one that's a little even more intense. They go, oh my God, really? You know, it's one thing to meet the guy, the girl, get the house, get the job, or whatever's going on, or win a lawsuit. But when they hear jail and then probation versus 5 to 20 years, yeah, they work. Not everybody wins their lawsuit, and I understand that. Yeah, Denise, it's pretty awesome. The magic, we took our time. We had plenty of time to work it. I kept adding more as the extensions were to keep the energy going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. I am a testament of this. I see things like this a lot, you know, and I watch this on YouTube, and you think, I wonder if that's really true, if that really happened. This is real. This really happened.
That's why I wanted you here today. Yeah. Yeah. I think we're going to take a break for a moment, and I'm going to run a little commercial. Or Jonathan, you want to hit the button and we'll do a little break for just a second, and you just stay right there and breathe. And let's see, I don't think Jonathan can hear me. on there is the health and wellness power. I've had people stop bleeding. I've had people get rid of cancer. I've had people get pregnant after they've gone to the doctors and had all the IV and they can't get pregnant, and they have mixed the good luck with the health and wellness. I had 2 people conceive. It's all online. I don't lie. Kelly's online. She had a 2-part testimony. I think it was broken up, but it's all out there. And there's candles for love, sex, passion, communication, getting rid of blocks, obstacles, negativity, bad luck. But as a psychic, I am able to hear the problem, quickly diagnose, figure it out in my head, and then determine the solution or the best way to go to make it work in the best interest of you, the person, the client. And Kelly's here to testify, man. I've been riding this wave with her for about 3 years.
Every day I think about it. Every day. And I'm so grateful. That was too scary for me to I couldn't deal with that.
Yeah, well, you could have been behind bars and who knows what would have been. Who knows? But it didn't happen.
On my probation, I have this one probation officer. I adore her. She's awesome, but I've always heard bad things about her. She wasn't in on this candle magic thing, but she loves me. I mean, she's so sweet to me. She's so good to me. She's nothing what people were telling me about as a probation
It could be that the whole package or the whole case.
That's what I'm
thinking. We lifted all the garbage and the negativity and the worst, and whoever came into your little soul circle is of spirit to be on your side to help you, because you've changed. And it was like you accepted what was going on and they gave you another chance.
I believe that. I totally believe that. Because she's wonderful. She's just wonderful.
So what, you visit with her like once a month or once a year or once?
I'm supposed to see her once a month. I haven't seen her in a while. I mean, I call her just to let her know I'm still here.
She's not coming after you, so she knows you're doing a good thing by staying out of trouble.
Yeah. Okay?
So your friend Bobby is here and said that he watched you go through all this way back then. And we have some people. We've got Abby who says, I'm really thinking about placing an order for money and success. She said that before, but a lot of people say they think about it, but the thing is, you got to do it. Thinking's not going to get the solution. Thinking's not going to get the action. And there's something called stinking thinking, where you can think, and never do anything but think. And Denise is here saying that's awesome, Kelly.
That's my sister-in-law.
Oh, is that your sister-in-law? Hey, Denise. Okay. Yeah, it is awesome. It's true. It's true. I worked with her. We did it.
Yeah.
But do you have any questions, or do you have anything else you want to say to anybody?
What I want to say is, people, this works. And Linda she isn't fake. She's the real deal. I mean, seriously, I know how I felt when I was going through this, and the fear, and you were able to get rid of that for me. You were able to get me calm and balanced.
I got you centered and grounded.
I never
what you were going to be confronting, but you were better able to handle it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And to allow it to come in and be.
And look at the gifts you've had now.
Oh, I'm doing great.
Are you going to go back to school? You're going to study? You're going to train? You're going to create? What do you want to do now? I've got a man in my life, and we go out on the boat a lot. We go camping a lot. We go and do things. We just have a good. You're happy.
Time. I'm very happy.
Is the other one still behind bars?
Huh? No. Is he still in?
The one that you got in trouble for?
Yeah, he's going to be there for the rest of his life.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But the man I'm with now is awesome. He knows about my past and everything, and he's accepted it. And He tells me, he says, I'm the domestic goddess.
Okay.
So I'll stay there.
Yeah, I'm happy for you. This is great. This is great.
And we have 4 puppies, 4 little doggies.
You're never alone. You're always taking care. You think you'll get another horse? Yeah,
he wants us to get a horse. I'll be getting one. I just don't know exactly when.
Well, you're still healing. It takes time.
Oh, yeah. That horse was my precious, precious baby. And she thought she was a Chihuahua.
Yeah, but you couldn't hold her and take her for a walk. You rode her and she took you for a walk.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say? Do you want to hang out while I kind of just talk to people?
Yeah,
you want to just hang out there?
Yeah, I'd like to hang out.
All right. So this is Kelly Duncan. Sorry?
I just wanted to say thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It's been a pleasure working with you all these years, and especially with something so dynamic and frightening. I just did the work, and it's up to the universe, but I do the work with the petitions, the oils, and you have to have people's names. It's not black magic. It's not negativity. It's all in the light. And those that are new here listening, I became psychic when I was in a commercial airline plane crash, February 17th, 1981. And then I got hit by a fire truck the year after that, and I got to another level of psychic stuff. And then in 1984, I totaled a car and had the white light experience and was given the choice to live or die. And I go to psychics all the time. And I have one who's in Wales. And I spoke to her yesterday, and she brought up my grandfather. I've got 3 suicides in my family. So she kept saying, who's the suicide? And I said, my grandfather. So we started talking. She goes, you almost met him. He almost brought you home, but they had you stay, didn't they?
Oh, wow.
And that was 1984 when I had the white light. Yep. I was like, I wanted out of here. Let me get out of here. And they wouldn't take me. So I'm here, obviously, to do work to help people, and I love it. But it was just interesting how that came through, because I knew that I had gone through the white light, which you hear about it. But what happened in January of 1984, I totaled the car on a rainy night. And as the car was spinning out, the light, like a beam, went from the ceiling of the top of my head through the ceiling of the Camaro into the heavens. And this loud voice said, you can come with us now or stay and do. And I was given a message. Well, yesterday it was all confirmed. I mean, I know what I've experienced all these 40 years or whatever, 35 years. But somebody stronger than me that reads a little differently put some of the pieces together for me. Yeah. So the white light's real, people. You do see the other side. You do have a life review. You do go through tests. Kelly had her test here on the planet. You didn't have to go through a near death, but in a way it was, because you were panicked, almost facing your own demise.
I was suicidal at that time.
I bet you were. Because you wouldn't want to face what the worst would have been. And a lot of people do commit suicide rather than face trials, or people like, what's his name, who jumped off the 28th or 48th floor of a building when they found out that his company was being bankrupt. Or when you would, some of these big businessmen, the one from, not Target, but one of the big industries, I can't think right offhand, but he committed suicide a month and a half ago because the company was going bankrupt. They're billions of dollars, and there was something wrong on the financial end. I'm sorry, I can't quote it exact because I'm not thinking along those lines, but it was easier to jump and die than.
Oh yeah, I was planning. I even looked it up on the internet, how to kill myself without hurting myself.
Yeah, what's the easiest way to die? We're going to take one more break. I'm not going to sign off yet. I think we're going to continue. So, Jonathan, go ahead.
Use this set of candles to assist in strengthening the immune system, heal from various ailments, enhance general health and well-being, and target and help heal specific health issues. They can expedite the healing process, and they're great to use before and after surgeries, and it can encourage physical, emotional, and spiritual healing.
you receive. Those are the candles and the oils that I use with Kelly or with any of you that either pay me to do the work or I ship to you. We're having a hard time getting everything to Europe right now because everything's changed with COVID and postal services, and it's become a mess. I'm trying to keep it domestic. But you get the oils, the herbs, the powders, the candles, and then I teach you how to do what you need to do. I can't talk about it because that's the magic, but they work like a prescription for your soul.
That's
And
the thing. I remember you telling me not to tell anyone.
yeah, I did at that point, especially the legal system. They would have thought you were nuts. And I did. Oh gosh, in 2003, I was in a lawsuit. I was on the air over Thanksgiving back in '03, I guess, or '02, really, at Thanksgiving. And somebody called in from Chicago. I remember this. And they said, your voicemail's not working. I said, okay, I'll deal with it when I get home. So I got home and there were like 33 messages, but I couldn't receive them. So I called the attorney. He said, well, do me a favor, go ask the company to give you a full recording, a document of all the calls that you've received since you've been a client. Long story short, there were about 1,500 calls I never got. So I had a lawsuit of the potential losses, 1,500 times whatever I was charging back there. So I started doing the candles. And then it came to this. These people were in Texas and I'm in California. And they thought it'd be easy with this lawsuit. They called it frivolous. Like, here was some psychic who thought she could get her money back for lost voicemails. Well, I won the case. Then they didn't want to pay. Then we had to go to the appellate court. So let's just give an example what I had to do. I had to know the judge's name. I had to know the opposing attorney's name, and I had to know who I was dealing with and what I was dealing with. And then I remember being on the bench and the other attorney comes running down. Your Honor, she's a witch. She's on the internet with candles. And the judge said, sit down, counsel.
Oh my gosh.
Sit down. Yeah, so he sat down. And it was a week-long event, and I didn't know what the verdict was going to be, but it was a little nerve-wracking and going over. And even if I got testy, which I do easily if I get pinned on something, the judge says, I'm trying to help you. Just calm down. Just calm down. And then I got the verdict, and then they didn't want to pay. It was in my favor, like $98,000 or something, because I'd lost some, years of work. So then we had to go to the appellate court, and when you go to the appellate court, you got to have all 5 judges' names to do the work, but only 4 sit on the bench, so you don't know who you're going to get. So I had to do all that work, and I told my attorney, he didn't believe me, but everything I put in the petition when we got to the appellate court came out of the other attorney's mouth, and I started giggling, and my attorney elbowed me, and he said, shh. And then afterwards, I can't believe that happened. I don't believe that. I said, don't even try to understand it. And it was the same thing with me. The attorney couldn't figure it out. Yeah. But everything I put in the petition, the other attorney voiced to the judge. And the judge even said, counsel, are you insinuating that Judge so-and-so made a mistake or whatever? And he goes, yes, Your Honor. And you don't do that. Oh. He puts it in his mouth. Yeah. Wow. And then he didn't want to pay. And then my dad happened to know a big firm in Texas, so I got some letterhead and then some ink, and I got my money, but they had to pay interest because they hadn't paid, but they lost big time because they messed with the wrong person. I'm not saying it's going to work every single time, but my averages, I'm going to say, are in the high 90s.
I believe that. I believe that. Yeah.
But it's not hurting anybody. It's just getting what's right. If it's meant to be, it's going to happen. If it's not meant to be, you can do 1,000 candles. It's not going to happen. I know one guy had a huge lawsuit going, and I felt so bad when he lost. I don't know the outcomes. I just do the work.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of it is if the person is pure and true and honest about what is going on, I think that helps a lot too.
A lot of the times, but a lot of the times also, even if it's more difficult or more negative, by doing the good luck power to move the blocks, obstacles, negativity, curses, bad luck. A lot of times I just have to clear the air first to get the energy.
Yeah, because I remember you
What?
asking
True.
if I was telling you the truth and if I really had clean hands. I think I remember you asking me that.
Yeah, because I needed to know what your true part was. Even if you lied or even if you knew, it was not to insult you or anybody,
Right.
but for me to understand the story, to put it into the petition to make it work. That's all. It's
Yep.
like if you had really done other stuff, the writing and the wording would have been a little more difficult to clear to get to where we got.
Right.
But I was able to just get straight to it. I want to thank you, Kelly. I mean, it's wonderful. You'll have a copy of this online and Facebook, and it's at YouTube at Dr. Linda Salvin. You can always refer to it or send people to go. And I hope when you go to the channel, you'll click subscribe. All of you here.
Yes, please subscribe. She's awesome.
Thank you. So I'm going to let you go. I know this is intense, or you can stay in the studio if you want.
I got to feed the dogs.
Pardon?
I have to feed the dogs.
All right, go feed the dogs, but we'll be in touch. I want to thank you for everything and anything I can do in the future. Maybe some soulmate for the guy. Who knows what will happen on that end, okay?
Thank you so much.
Have a good night. We'll talk soon, okay?
Bye, guys.
Bye, Kelly. So that was Kelly, as you heard her testimony as to what happened when she was up for a 20-year jail sentence a few years ago for something she did illegally, obviously, that the FBI was involved with. And the candle magic worked to free her. And I've become, not that I've taken her under my wing, but it's the stories that I work with people, the stories I hear, the results I get, and then I develop friendships. And that's the beauty of the work I've been doing. I've been doing psychic work since, well, I actually surrendered to it in 1992, but I became psychic in 1981, long time. So if you have questions, now's the time. Let's do some chat. Oh, everybody's disappeared. So there's nobody here. Rajay, do you have a question? Felicity, that was awesome. Most appreciated. Felicity, you've had candle work. Why don't you type in some of the results you've had and I'll read it. You've done a lot of candles through the years. Yeah, that was a pretty awesome testimony. She went through some really difficult times. Blossoms here, you guys got questions? Are you subscribing to the channel? Eventually this channel is going to take off. I don't know how we'll get there, but we will. I got Jonathan who puts up with me in the background, who's the engineer and the editor. And then when I get back from the trip, we're going to start, I guess, integrating everything onto some of the different websites and channels and podcast networks. It'll start. I mean, it's only been a month and a half that we're testing the waters here. What's your question, Blossom? What do you want to know? Felicity, share something, because you've done candles for like 3-4 years. You had a legal problem. You had the boyfriend problem. You had the move problem. You had some personal stuff. Felicity's been burning candles a long time. She's grown tremendously spiritually. It's all there. I have a health scare and running. I don't read health. I'm not a doctor. I'm not allowed to do that. But I'm not on the air anyway. I can't talk about health or death. So if you want to call me off the air and we can talk about it, I can tell you there. Okay, so, but I'm getting that you'll be okay, whatever it is. I don't think you have to worry. But what I would do, especially when you get the diagnosis, either way, is do the good luck power and the health and wellness power. Like we've been showing, health and wellness help people get well. I've seen immunity increase. I've seen people heal quicker from surgeries. I've seen people one girl up in Washington had skin cancer, went away. Girl that used to work for me for several years had a horrible lumbar issue, and that went away. Girl in Texas was bleeding vaginally, did not want a hysterectomy. We got the tumors to stop bleeding. That's real stuff here. Felicity says, I've been able to move away from people who were not good for me. I've just landed an awesome job. I've just got a new position as an advocate for the homeless on a task force in my city. You can afford it, Blossom. Everybody can afford it. Felicity has gone up and down, backwards and sideways, and she's back on her feet. That's great to hear that you've even got more coming, Felicity, with everything you've been going through. I didn't know that was the actual position. Is this another one since we just talked, or is this one just growing further from where we were? Either way, she's done good luck power candles, remove blocks, obstacles, negativity, harmony power to bring down some of the dysfunctional relationships on the job, because we all have them. She has done money and success to get the new position or to get the job. I think you need some health because you did have a stroke. I sent you a gift. That's right. I sent you the gift of the health and wellness to get you stronger faster. You can call me bitch all you want, but I am nice, and I will give people a lot behind the scenes after they've actually earned the respect on both levels is where we stand with each other. It's hard work. People think I just sit and talk, but I don't. I mean, I got to analyze, and then I got to hear things, and I got to verbalize it and put it out in a different way, especially channeling. But the candles are real. Felicity said I had a stroke twice and my health improved by program and the work to heal and through the health candles. She's a miracle. You're a miracle, Felicity, walking through all of this stuff. And now you'll probably start losing some weight. Do I see a move for me before the year is out? In December, yes, I do. And you're going to be going only like 6 miles away, Blossom. You're not going 6 states away. But I got a number 6. It might even move on the 6th. Let's see. I think we're at the tail end of tonight's broadcast. And I want to let you know again, I'm going to be out of town next week. I'm leaving tomorrow for Detroit, and then I'm going to be in Cleveland, Ohio, and I will do the show from Cleveland. And if I am able to get the gal who I'm meeting in Cleveland, who's a client, on the air to tell her story, you're not going to want to miss it. It has nothing to do with candles. It's just what goes on in her family's world with their business. Jonathan, great job as always. I'll talk to you when we're off the air. You're very grateful, Felicity, and I'm grateful for you in my life. And you're more like a sister than a client because I got to know so much about you. And everybody else, lindasalvin.com, place an order, get a reading, healing, or a channeling session, whatever it is that you need. I also do the DNA nutrition, and that's based on you swabbing your cheeks, sending the swabs to the lab, getting an 18 genetic code printout with about 100 pages about your genes that you've inherited and why your health is the way it is, whether it's depression, anxiety. I have what's called the motherfucker gene, and it's red from both sides of the family, so I always have high anxiety. And I had heart problems in 2002. I've already had heart surgery. You see on the map what you inherited from your parents, but then what you get is a customized clinical dose nutritional product to change the genetic coding to calm down whatever health issues you might be at risk for. And it goes away. One girl's no longer anemic. She's absorbing iron from food. Another one no longer has Hashimoto's, the thyroid disorder. Other people, one person is off dialysis. People have lost weight. People are sleeping. People have tons and tons and tons of testimony. So if you're interested in the DNA nutrition, you can go to my website and look that up, and I can help you when I return. That's the end of the broadcast tonight. If you have a great story and you want to share it on the show, email me and we'll take a look at what's going on with you. In the meantime, visit your tomorrow by staying focused for right now. Talk to you then. Take care. Bye-bye.